The strongest hero is betrayed by humanity, and reincarnates as an overpowered Dark Lord. Linus was one of the 3 heroes assigned to protect a city that was being attacked by ogres. Ericale starts casting a powerful magic. However, he wanted to eradicate not only the monsters but also the citizens. Then, Terrace would use her power to revive the citizens. Yet, Linus had another idea. He didn't want to see the citizens suffer, so he used his sword to cut Ericale's spell in half. Ericale was confused, but Linus, who was still 12 years old at the time, couldn't see people being eradicated and being brought back to life. He then jumped down and started to fish the ogres one by one. The citizens watched in awe as he sliced the ogres and even wrestled another one. Something was clear, every citizen saw Linus as a true hero and loved him. However, the other 2 didn't like Linus, especially Ericale. And that's why 4 years later Linus was assigned to defeat a monster, being guided by a villager. The villager is pretty happy as they will be helped by Linus, who is considered the greatest swordsman and the hero of the Holy Sword. The villager complimented Linus' skills, who simply dismissed it, mentioning his job was to defeat the Demon Lord. The 2 arrived at the monster's location, but Linus was confused because the spot was empty. He turned back to ask the villager where the monster was. However, the villager had disappeared. Linus then realizes this is a trap and tries to reach out for his weapon. However, some gravity magic was cast on him to restrain him. He sees 3 mages around him, and then some soldiers also appear. The soldiers quickly grab some chains and restrain him in the air. The nobles of the kingdom didn't like Linus' power or influence, so they decided to wipe him out. The soldiers quickly ran forward with their spears and stabbed Linus in the chest. He tried to resist, but in the end, he lost all his strength. The soldiers put him down, commented on how their job was done, and walked away. Minutes later, a girl appears before him. She knows he can still hear her, and asks him how he feels after being betrayed by the people he saved. Linus had negative thoughts, yet he couldn't resent humanity for betraying him. She asks what he thinks about this world, but Linus didn't care about it because he was about to die. The girl then reveals that she wishes to rebel against the world. Linus is confused, but she explains that she's Roselia, the goddess of rebellion. She holds his hand, promising to revive him not as a hero, but as the new Dark Lord who will save the world. Since then, Linus slowly started to turn into an undead. He spent years fighting wars as a demon lord, until one day, he returns to his castle and meets Roselia again, and he presents her with the spoils of war. She tells him to hold on to them for a while and commends him for being very powerful. He tells her he's made a new noble friend named Blackus, and his people will be taken into Lenny's kingdom to be protected. Roselia also presents him with his old holy sword as a gift for his victory. She tells him the holy sword doesn't suit him anymore and changes it to a demon sword. She tells him he can't draw the sword unless it calls his truth into question. But a few years later, the 6 heroes decided to war against Linus, who assumed his full appearance as the Dark Lord. The Demon Lord's army of skeletons rushes into the battlefield to face the heroes. But the heroes have been blessed with godly powers and now have angel forms. The Demon Lord Linus was sitting in his room chamber watching everything from his ball. All his strongholds have been defeated and this is their last line of defense. The skeletons manage to clap some human soldiers, but one of the heroes has the power to bring them back to life. Suddenly, a huge tree-like creature appears, making the Demon Lord angry because he recognizes it as the Archsage hero who quit being human to get more power. Linus gets up and summons his staff to join the fight, but his Fenrir companion and loyal general stops him, reminding Linus that he made a promise to the goddess of rebellion. She had entrusted him to do something when he was still human, so Linus decided to accept defeat. He drops his staff and walks toward a door while his castle is being destroyed. Before entering, he promised that he would rise again in 1,000 years and reclaim his throne. And so, he sealed his own soul in the Grand Mausoleum. 1,000 years later we then see 2 girls exploring the castle ruins of Linus. Celia and Regina are on a mission to scout the ruins, because they have reports that some monsters called voids are building their nests there. They walk through a corridor and reach a huge door. Celia recognizes it as the King's Mausoleum, where Demon Lord Kings decide to rest waiting for their final days. Celia then notices some writings on the door and touches it. Suddenly, the door activates and opens up. She picks up her gun and steps inside, where she finds a huge crystal. She then realizes there's a person inside and decides to help him. We then see Linus in a barren place. He sees Roselia, the god he once made a promise to. He says that he finally has found her, and she replies that it's been over 1,000 years since they met. Linus explains he couldn't do anything against the god powers given to the heroes, so he decided to seal his soul to keep his promise to her. She replies that she's happy that he still remembers it and walks away into the air. Linus tries to stop her, but she simply says she hopes to meet him again.